In today's video lecture, we will be discussing TSSCERT Class 10th Mathematics Board Exam Important Questions. Okay, it is also important for APSCERT and it is important for Board Exam 2023, 2024, 2025. And whatever exams are coming, and also these questions are important for FA1, FA2, FA3, FA4, FA4, all FAs, and also SA1 and SA2, and also pre-board examinations. So whatever questions are important from chapter-wise point of view, I am going to say in this video from paper 1. Okay, for paper 1. So 95% chance is that questions will come from what I say today, inshallah. So let's start. So first chapter, you know that in paper 1 how many chapters you will have? You will have totally 7 chapters from real numbers to coordinate geometry. That is real numbers, sets, polynomials, pair of linear equations in two variables, quadratic equations, progressions, and coordinate geometry. These all will come in paper 1 in your exam. So let's see the important questions from these chapters. First we have chapter 1, real numbers. In real numbers you have exercise 1.1. In exercise 1.1 you have question number 1 is important, 2 is important, 3 is important, 4 is important. So practice these 4 questions. Okay, mark whatever I say in this video. Please tick or mark important and practice those questions, okay, because questions will come from these only in your exam. So next we have example 3. Okay, it is on page number 8, is important. Then we have example 4 is also important. And we have this concept HCF of A comma B into LCM of A comma B is equals to A into B. From this you will have a concept. Any problem can come based on this. Okay, HCF will be given, A and B numbers will be given, you have to find out LCM, or LCM will be given, A and B numbers will be given, you have to find out HCF. So mark this concept also as important. Example 3, example 4, and this concept from this. Then undo this, find HCF and LCM by prime factorization method. This first bit is important. Then in exercise 1.2 you have question 1. First bit is important, second bit is important, third bit is important. Then you have to find HCF and LCM of the following integers of prime factorization method. In this you have second bit is important, and also apart from that write these numbers also in practice. Find out the HCF of 150 and 360, that, and one more you practice. Find the HCF and LCM of 220 and 284 by prime factorization method. These questions came in previously in board exam, so I am saying these now. Now then you have third question is important. Okay, fourth question is important, and also fifth question is important. So mark these. Next you have theorem 1.4 is important. It can come in objective. Okay, theorem 1.3, theorem 1.4, yes, theorem 1.3, theorem 1.4, then theorem 1.5. okay, and then you have exercise 1.3. In exercise 1.3 you have second question, sixth bit is important, and apart from that fifth bit is also important in this. And you have theorem 1.6, that is important. Okay, study it. Then you have these 2 points at the end. These 2 points are important from this. Mark this and study this. Then example number 8 is important. Okay, and apart from that, also practice this. Show that 3 minus root 5 is an irrational number. Then example number 10 is important. Example number 10. Okay, then you have exercise 1.4. In exercise 1.4, second bit is important, and also practice one more from this type. Prove that root 5 minus root 3 is an irrational number. Also practice this. Then fourth bit is important, fifth bit is important. Okay, and apart from fifth bit, also practice prove that 7 minus 2 root 3 is an irrational number. Then second bit is also important. Prove that root p plus root q is an irrational number. Then you have page number 21, you have to try this. And try this. Okay, second bit, solve the following. Log 625 to the base 5 is equals to y is important. Practice that. Okay, apart from solve, it can also ask you find the value of x. Okay, if it asks that in the question, then you have to do. Then you have example 11 is important. Example 11, example 12. Then you have example 13 is important. Example 14 is important. Okay. And then in exercise 1.5, first question, third bit is important. Third bit, fourth bit, fifth bit, sixth bit, and seventh bit, ninth bit. And also practice one more. 3 power 2 minus log 6 to the base 3. You have to determine this value. And also of this type, you practice determine the value of log 256 to the base root 2. So whatever questions I'm seeing, those questions also came, these ones. So these also you practice. Okay. Then you have a second question, fifth bit is important. And apart from that, also practice this. In this second question, write the following expressions as log n and find the values. Practice this sum. Log 2 cube minus log 64 plus 1 by 2 log 16. Then you have question number 4, second bit is important. Then question number 5 is important. So these were the questions which were important from the chapter real numbers. Okay, practice only these questions. These are enough. If you practice from this, you can get 4 full marks from this chapter. Then coming to sets chapter. In sets chapter, you have in exercise 2.1. In exercise 2.1, you have 5th, 6th and 7th questions are important. 5th, 6th and 7th. Okay. Then and do this, which is on page number 36. You have second question is important. Okay. And in try this, you have first question and third question are important. These two are important, first and third. Then again and do this, you have fourth question is important here, and then second question is important here. Then in exercise 2.2, you have second question is important. Okay, only second question in this. Then you have third question is important, fifth question is important, sixth question first bit is important. Then you have a concept on page number 45. This concept in which it can ask you state any example of finite set and infinite set. So practice this example. Okay, that is also important. And also from this exercise 2.3, you have this type of questions are important. List the subsets of the following sets. In this, second bit is more important. Practice that. Then you have on page number 47, try this. 47, yeah, try this. You have the third question. That is important. Then apart from this, you have a concept based on this property. Okay, like a question, in the question, n of a value will be given to you. N of a means number of elements of a. N of b will be given to you, number of elements of b. N of a intersection b will be given in the question 2. And then it will ask you to find n of a union b. Okay, so practice these questions also. These are important. And also example number 14 is important, in which a and b are given and you have to find n of a union b. So these are the questions which were important from sets. Okay, and then you have chapter polynomials, chapter number 3. In that you have try this on page number 52. Write 3 different quadratic, cubic and 2 linear polynomials. In that this is important for 1 mark or 2 mark. Then you have exercise 3.2. In exercise 3.2, in exercise 3.2, you have second question is important, third question is important, fourth question is important. Okay. And it can also ask you this in objective. So first question is also important. Then on page number 68, you have try this. Find the quadratic polynomial with zeros 2 and minus 2 and 1 by 3. And what is a quadratic polynomial? The sum of whose zeros and the product of zeros is given. This is also important. Then you have example number 7 is important. Okay. Then in exercise 3.3, find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial. This is important. Find the quadratic polynomial. This is important. Third, fourth, all 4 are important in this. And from division algorithm, you practice division algorithm for polynomials. You should know how to divide the polynomials, okay, by division algorithm. So in this, practice example number 8, example number 9, then example 10, example 11, and exercise 3.4, practice the first question, second question, and third question and fourth question. Again, all 4 questions are important in exercise 3.4. Then apart from this, you have chapter number 4, pair of linear equations in 2 variables. See, basically in this chapter you have 4 concepts. Okay, so you have to study those 4 concepts. First of all, you have questions in which question number, do this. This table is important. You need to study page number 84. You need to study this table, in which you have the following conditions. Okay, and you have the algebraic interpretation, graphical representation, solutions. These 4 you learn properly. Okay, questions will be based on this. Then you have try this and do this. Here, page number 87. You have do this, second bit is important. Try this, all 4 questions are important. Practice those. Then you have exercise 4.1. In exercise 4.1, you have question number 1, C bit is important. Okay. Then you have question number 2, A bit is important. Then 5th question is important. And 7th question is important in this. And also 9th question in exercise 4.1 is important. Okay. Then you have algebraic methods to find the solutions for a pair of linear equations. In substitution method, example 6 is important. Okay. And from do this, practice question number 1, question number 6, question number 5, and question number 4. Then example 7 is also important in elimination method. And in the elimination method, and do this, practice question number 3rd. And example 8 is important. Then in exercise 4.2, question numbers 2 and question number 7 are important. 2 and 7 are important. Then you have in exercise 4.3. In exercise 4.3, practice the question number 1. Okay, any one question can come from that. And first bit is important in this. Okay, speed, upstream and downstream speed, this question. That's it. Okay, in this exercise 4.3, practice the first question, all the bits. Okay, and from second question, practice the first bit. These all are important from chapter linear equations. Now coming to quadratic equations, you have 9.5 marks from this chapter weightage. And in this you have exercise 5.1. In exercise 5.1, first question, first bit is important. First question, first bit is important. Then you have exercise 5.2. In exercise 5.2, you have first question, first bit. Then second question, third question, fourth question, ninth question. These questions are important from exercise 5.2 and from exercise 5.3. And example 6, in which you have method of completing the square. Example 6 is important in this. And then you have example 9 is important. Find two consecutive positive odd integers, sum of whose squares is 290. This is important. Then example 11, first bit is important. Then in exercise 5.3, first question, practice the questions by quadratic formula method. Okay, first question, all are important. Then you have 6th question is important in this, 11th question is important in this, 6th, 11th and also 8th is important. Then you have a concept, nature of roots, on page number 124. Practice this formula. Okay, it can ask you in exam this formula. Then you have these 3 points. This are very important. This you need to learn. Okay, it can ask you a question that what can you say about roots of the equation if the roots are distinct, or if the roots are equal, or if there are no real roots. That you have to practice. Okay, then you have example 14 is important. Then you have example 16 is important. Find the discriminant equation is given. Then in exercise 5.4, you have first question is important, second question is important, third question is important, and also fourth question is important. So 4 questions are important in exercise 5.4. So these were the questions which are important in the chapter quadratic equations. Then from progressions, chapter number 6, you have from exercise 6.1, in example 2, page number 136, example 2, fourth bit is important in example 2, and exercise 6.1, third question and fourth question is important. Third question and fourth question is important, and in this 13th bit is very important. Then you have example 3, example 4, example 5, example 6 are important. Example 7 is also important. Then example 8 is also important. Then example 10 is important. In exercise 6.2 you have second question, first and second bit is important. Then you have third question, first bit is important, second bit is important, fourth bit is important, fifth bit is important, then fourth question is important, fifth question is important, sixth question is important, seventh question is important, ninth question is important, 11th, 12th, 14th and 15th is also important. Then from exercise 6.2, 6.3, exercise 6.3, you have question number 1 is important, 2 is important, and third question first bit and fourth bit is important, and fifth question is important, sixth question is important, seventh question is important, and also ninth question is important. Then in exercise 6.4, second question is important, in which you have to find out the 3 terms of the GP. Then fourth question is important in this, and in third question also second and fourth bit are important. Then in exercise 6.5, fourth question is important, in which you have to find out which term of the GP. In 2 marks this question is important. Then also sixth question is important. Then coming to coordinate geometry chapter, in coordinate geometry chapter, exercise 7.1, you have first question, first bit is important. First question, first bit is important. Then ninth question is important, 10th question is important, 11th question is important, 13th question is important. 13th, okay. Then in exercise, okay, example 11 is also important on page number 175. Then do this, find the trisectional points on page number 176. This first question is important and do this. Then you have example number 13 on page number 178. Example number 13 is important, in which you have to find out the center of the triangle. Then from exercise 7.2, you have first question and fourth question are important in exercise 7.2. First and fourth are important. Then in exercise 7. And also 10th question is important in exercise 7.2. 10th question, first bit, in which you have to find out center of triangle. Then example 21 on page number 186 is important. 186 on page number 186 is important. Example 21. Then you have exercise 7.3. And exercise 7.3 you have second question is important, in which you have to find out the value of k for which the following points are collinear. Then in exercise 7 and also example 23 is important on page number 192. 192. 1 second. 192. Page number 192, example 23 is important. And in exercise 7.4, the first question in which you have to find out slope of the line passing through the given points, first bit is important. So these were all the questions from the 7 chapters. There is 1 to chapter 7. 95% questions will come from these chapters only from paper 1. Practice this. In the next video, we will be discussing paper 2 important questions. Okay, so that will complete all the important questions from this textbook. All the very best. Maths very easy if you practice. So practice, practice, practice. May God help you all. Like, share, subscribe, click that bell icon.